So let's continue, and we have successfully restarted our machine, and we have already installed the VirtualBox as well as Vagrant. And the next step is to installing a Homestead Vagrant box. So once the VirtualBox and the VMware has been installed, and we should add a Laravel Homestead box to our Vagrant installation using a following command. So it will take some time depending on your internet speed to download a Homestead Vagrant box. So let us copy this command, and let me run a git bash over here. So where is my git bash? I cannot find it here. Okay, so let's run this command over here. Just paste it, and it will take some time for this one. So I think it will take 5 minutes for this one. So let me pause the video, and I will be back once the installation has been successfully done. Okay, so it has been successfully added the Homestead box. So we can find that one in if you go to our directory, the user and the username, C drive users and the user directory, and inside the .vagrant.d, inside this one you can go to boxes and you can see the Laravel Vagrant and the version code and the VirtualBox, and this is a virtual machine which is an Ubuntu 18.04 AMD64. So that's the that's the box that it has been added. It's the Homestead Laravel Homestead box for us. So after we add the Homestead Vagrant box, the next step is we need to we need to clone the Homestead. So you may install a Homestead by cloning a repository. So we can just run this command, or else you can just directly go to this link and download the file. So let's copy this code and just copy this line of the git command and just paste it over here and just hit enter. So this will go and download the Homestead for us, and it will create one directory. So let's go back to our folder over here, and let's go back to the C drive users and Richard, and that's the username, and you can go to this folder which is a Homestead, and the file has been added inside this one. So that's correct. And the next step is we need to go inside this Homestead directory, and we need to run, once you have cloned the Homestead repositories, you need to run the bash.init. This is basically and the command from the Homestead directory to create a Homestead YAML file. So we need to create a configuration file which is a homestead.yml file. So basically, if you go to that directory, you can see that current file. So we have one example file, but we need to run a basic command that is bash.init.sh. So let's go inside over here, and let's go back to this directory. So let me copy this one. Let's copy this directory and just type it as a cd and change the directory and paste that one. So we are in, and let's say if we can find that init.sh over here. So let me run that one. So I will just say as we run it directly. So bash.init.sh. So we should be able to run this one. So let me copy this command and just paste it over here. Yeah, so that Homestead has been initialized. And if you go back to that folder, so we can see some of the file has been added. So basically we need to work with the Homestead. So let me open this file, and let me see that the first IP address is the IP address that we will be using to access our Homestead Vagrant box, and the memory that we provide to that VirtualBox, CPUs, and the provider. So provider is we are using a VirtualBox. We can also make use of other provider, like you can see the VMware Fusion, Workstation, Parallel, Hyper-V. So that's make use of a provider over here. And the next step is we need to make use of configure our share folder. So let me open this one, and let me comment out this one because we will be not using this one. Just comment out this one, and you can also remove it if we can also remove it because we are not using currently for the authorization using a key SSH. And the next step is to map the folder. So map folder is to map your host machine or folder to the Vagrant box or the Homestead box folder. So this is the folder inside our Vagrant box which we just configured, and this will be mapped to our current host machine. So in the host machine we need to configure one folder. So let me go to the on my document, and inside let me create a one file. So website should be fine. So inside, let us create a one folder which is website, and I will map all of the website file inside this one. So basically this will be our shell folder, the host shell folder, which will be mapped with our Vagrant box. So that's let me just paste it over here, so that this is mapped with this folder. So everything that we put inside, all the project that we put inside this Vagrant box will be added inside inside this, will be also copied to this folder. So if you go and check what it's saying is that the folder property of the Homestead YML file lists all the folders you wish to share with your Homestead environment. So the folder that is going to share all files with this folder are changed. They will be kept synchronized between the local machine and the Homestead environment. So you may configure as a shell folder as necessary. So we will just add that one. So we'll just say, okay, all of this and all of this is mapped to our the Vagrant box, this folder. And the next stage is the sites. And the sites, if you go and check over here, let me go to the sites, configure the sites over here. Not familiar with the next thing. The problem is the site, no problem. And the site is the property that we need to easily map the domain name to the folder of a Homestead. So basically we are mapping the domain name that we are going to use for our development with our the Vagrant Homestead environment folder. So basically what we do is, this is our domain name. So I'll just say as blog blog.test. So blog.test will be our domain name, and it will be mapped to this folder inside a Vagrant box or a Homestead. So the Homestead environment, so go to home, Vagrant code, and inside the code let us create a one folder that should be our blog. So we can add a multiple project over here. Let us blog and blog. This will be mapped to this this domain name. So if you can create, if you want to add another domain name, you can just copy this and change the domain name, and just change the location of the folder of the file for your website. So that's it, and we'll just save this one for now. And after we have this one, if you change the site property provision Homestead, you should run a Vagrant reload provision to update the next in configuration. Okay, so we are not we haven't run our command, so let me skip that for now. And the next step is hostname resolution. So we need to configure the hostname resolution inside this folder. So it is basically we need to add this line. So that line comes from this IP address. So what I will do is I'll just copy this one, and let us go to that folder location. So I'll just paste it over here. And sorry for that, I think we wrongly typed. So the host, I need to remove this one. So that's a location we need to go, and inside this we have a host file. So just check that, make sure go to the property and make sure the read attribute is read only is unchecked. So if you check this one, you cannot modify, you cannot save that file. So just uncheck that one. If you are unable to save, just come and check whether the host property read only has checked. Just cancel this, and let us go to our notepad and run the notepad in administrator mode. And let me open that one. Yes, and let's open our host file, so which is on this location, and just change to all files hosts, and just click on open. And that's our all of the domain name map with our IP address. So this is blog.test. So basically that is with our let me go to Homestead configuration file, and you can see the IP address is this one, and we have mapped that IP address with this domain name. So that's it, and we have already configured that one. That's fine, and just save this one, and that should be fine. And let us close this one too, and let's go and see what's the next step. So after we configure this one, and we have to launch a vagrant box using this command, the vagrant.up. So we need to be inside, the command should be run inside from a Homestead directory. So the vagrant will boot the virtual machine and automatically configure the shell folder and next inside. So let's go back to our this command over here, which is a git command, and we are already inside this Homestead directory. And the next step is to run this command, which is a vagrant up. So what we will do is vagrant vagrant, and just say as up, and this will bring up our virtual machine. So it may take some time to bring up, so just hold on. So everything looks like fine, and let's go and check whether that one has been successfully up and running. Let's go to the virtual box, and we can see the Homestead is running now.